Hello, I was a part of the class of 2022 and I studied and prepared for 2 years continuously for exams that never took place. So I have some tips from all the hard work that just never. I took IB psychology at higher level and it was an interesting subject with a lot of memorization, and I have some tips to share. The IB psychology LX Pop of 2018 study guide is the Bible. The way the studies are explained is very crisp and it has all the important evaluation points and the definitions which are required. So I would highly recommend that. So in the study guide, it is ensured that none of the topics are missed out on. So when you are preparing your list of studies and ensuring that all the topics are covered, I would highly recommend that you use that study guide as your checklist that all the topics are covered. Be really smart and specific when choosing the studies to memorize for examinations and different topics, because a lot of studies can overlap as well. So the way I studied for my examination was that I prepared a list like this where I have all the topics and then below that I have the specific study. So the thing is, in paper 1 you have 3 SAQs and 1 ERQ, and you are given 3 questions for your ERQ from which you have to choose one. Now in the 22 marker, which is the ERQ, we as HL students have a greater advantage over here. There is going to be one HL question, that is for sure. It could either be animal research, cognitive processing in the digital world, or globalization. So instead of memorizing 2 studies for each topic, it is smarter to just prepare all of the HL topics for the ERQ. This significantly reduces the number of studies and you can focus your energies on bettering your memory and the way of answering. So the study guide, the Alex Popov study guide, has all of the studies in the AMPRCE format, which is aim, method, procedure, conclusion, evaluation. And if you look at the mark scheme, which I hope you have by now, you will see that you are graded for the 22 marker on this criteria itself. So it becomes really helpful and it is very precise, and I think it is a great resource. So when we are looking at specifically preparing for the paper 1, I think that the studies can be reused a lot over there. So this is the biological approaches. So what I did was, all of the SL topics, I had one study for each of the subtopic, and these studies overlap a lot. So for the SAQ are 9 markers, I memorized one study for each SL topic, but for the HL topics I memorized 2 studies. So I had to only remember 30 studies for paper 1, which is pretty reasonable. So when you're looking at ERQs, only prepare the HL topics for the 22 markers. That will reduce your studies significantly and you will be able to focus your efforts and practice more of those ERQs. If you have access to InThinking also has all the possible question combinations for examination, so that can also be really helpful. What I also try to do was that when I'm preparing for my HL topic, so I have found studies that work for both my HL and SL topics, so that has also reduced my workload. For instance, let's look at the biological level of analysis, the BLOA part. So BLOA is divided into a total of 3 parts when we're looking at only the SL content, which is the brain and behavior, hormones, pheromones and behavior, and genes and behavior. These are the broad 3 topics. And then when we look at HL, is the 4th topic, which is the animal research. Now under brain and behavior, there are other 4 subtopics. Now I have found one study which is working for 2 of these topics, and I'm using these studies in such a manner that these studies can also be used for my HL animal research topic. So I will paste a link to the PDF of my notes for the studies I've listed. So you will notice that there are a lot of repeating studies. Like I've used Ferguson et al. For hormones and human behavior, I've used it for ethics, and I've also used it for animal research. So this one study can be an answer to 3 different types of questions. Reusing the studies for different topics is very important, but while reusing it is important that we explain the study differently, because if the question is on ethics, then it is important that we focus more on the ethical aspect of the study rather than a question which asks to describe a study on hormone and behavior. This will really save you a lot of time. I remember remember others memorizing like 60 studies, and I just did not have so much brain capacity. You can find the Alex Popov study guide on IB documents, or I'll just give a link to the PDF in the description below. And Quizlets and flashcards have been especially helpful in memorizing the definitions. Two ways that were really helpful, especially for me, while memorizing these studies was active recall and blurt. What I would do was I would read a study from the study guide, and I would read it about twice and thoroughly soak it in. After that, I will close my book and then I will try to recall the AMPRC format, the aim, method, procedure, conclusion, evaluation. Then I would open the book and then see if I have missed out on certain points. So this is how I would actively recall, because I did not want to write. So this was an effective way of memorizing. For paper 2, different people choose different topics. I'm not covering that in this video. But the memorization and choosing studies for subtopics will be again with the similar method for paper 1. And yeah, so the Alex Popov study guide, the link will be mentioned in the description below. I have a quick update. I'm sorry, but I'm not able to give the link to the PDF of the Alex Popov book due to some technical issues. But I'll be linking the website through which you can buy the book, and I definitely think it's worth it. And let's get back to the video, along with which is a link to the studies that I have shortlisted and found for paper 1. I think that should be enough. If you have any doubts, let me know in the comment section below. And I hope this video was helpful, and all the best for your examinations. See you soon.